Welcome to Flourish in 5. My name is Heather Lawton, and every Friday I share a story, a lesson, or a quick idea with a goal of helping you gain a new perspective. Could you please share the podcast or this episode specifically on your social media channels? I would really appreciate it. I want you to learn how to embrace your triggers and your meltdowns. So I decided to share all of mine with you, which is both enlightening to me and also a little bit embarrassing. Enlightening meaning I didn't realize I was triggered by so many things. Okay, it's not like I'm having these meltdowns all the time, but I want to share a recent one with you. About a month ago, I was teaching at our local college. I teach all day. It's one of my favorite classes. It's a photography class, and it's exhilarating and fun and exhausting. So I usually get home around 4 p.m. It's a 6-hour class, and I'm just tired. Well, I happened to get home that day. It was a beautiful fall day, sunny and warm. And I thought to myself, I need to be out in nature. You know, it's good for your mindfulness. This is what all the gurus say. And we had decorated our woods for Halloween, and it was time for these decorations to come down. We have a haunted trail, well, a spooky trail, which means we just put decorations up in the woods. And there are a lot of them. So we have this side, I guess technically it's called a side by side. I call it a little buggy. It's like one of those things you see on farms that people drive around. Well, we have a homestead, so we have one. And I wanted to use it to load up all of the decor, go driving through the woods, pick it all up because this spans a pretty large area. And I couldn't get the buggy started. And I was a lot frustrated. I just couldn't get it to turn over. I choked it. I did all of the things and I couldn't get it to start. My husband and my father were not home, so I couldn't even ask for help, which I'm going to come back to that because I have a real problem asking for help. But I couldn't get it started. And this frustration just really, really started to increase. I mean, it was ratcheting up at an exponential pace. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, am I just tired? Or like, why am I making such a big deal about this? So I set out on foot into the woods and I would gather up some of the decorations and carry them back by hand. And the whole time, this continues to ratchet up because I'm thinking, this is so inefficient. This is so stupid. Why do we even have a buggy? If the buggy never starts, why does nothing ever work in this house? Everything is broken. I'm sure you have been in this position where your emotions just start to snowball, not in a good direction. I'm thinking to myself, well, this is going to make good material at some point. I'm going to learn a lesson here. This is good. I'm going to get to practice my skills. But about, I don't know, it was maybe 20 or 30 minutes later, my husband and my dad drive up. At this point, I really am embarrassed to admit, like, my blood was boiling over the fact that this buggy would not start. And they pulled up. And with my arms waving, I mean, not so much as a hello or anything. My arms are waving, super dramatic fashion. I said, I have one question for you guys. Just one. Is it that you buy the cheapest piece of crap you can find, or do you just not take care of things? Because I was unable to get the buggy started. So I just need to know. And I was pacing around like a wild animal, arms waving. They're staring at me like, what is wrong with her? I said, is it just, it's 8 years old and it was cheap to begin with and it just doesn't work. It's breaking down. Or do you not maintain it? Do you just run things into the ground? Do you not treat anything well? Do you disrespect everything? It truly was out of control. And my dad just walked off. He doesn't care. And my husband looked at me for a couple minutes, almost like I had 3 heads. He did not say a word. My husband's super even and calm when I'm like this, which is a good thing. And I hear him around the back of our garage and he's messing around with the buggy and he gets it to start, which actually infuriates me more because, like, why would it start for him and not for me? He drives it around, he parks it, and he's like really nice about it. He's like, here, I got it started for you so you can use it. And I'm like, why did it start for you? Why would it not start for me? And he's like, I don't know. I just started it. And again, I start ranting. He just walks off because he's like, she is legitimately crazy. Okay, so, which is true. So I go out in the woods. I take care of the rest of the decorations. I bring them back in the buggy. And, about an hour later, I have calmed down some. And my husband says to me, even after that, I guess it was probably a couple hours that passed, he said, so like, what was going on with the whole buggy situation? And I said, well, I have analyzed it because that's what I do when I lose my cool. Why am I experiencing this? What is the story that I am telling myself about what this means about me? And I said, and here's what I uncovered. If I can't start the buggy, that means that I am incompetent because I am a mechanical engineer. I should be able to figure out pretty quickly, I think, a simple buggy situation and get it started. But I didn't even know where to look or what to do. So I'm incompetent. If I'm incompetent, I'm a loser. What does that say about me? Just went down into this shame spiral. Not pretty. And then the other part of that is that if I can't get it started and I'm an incompetent loser, I am now also dependent on others to help me. I like to think of myself as fiercely independent, almost to a fault. So to ask someone for help, especially a man, is really difficult for me. I understand it's not healthy. It is a pride issue. I have to ask for help. I'm embarrassed because, again, I'm incompetent and now I depend on others. I purposefully got into a male dominated field as a young mechanical engineer, A, because I had something to prove, but B, I just wanted to be able to do anything and everything anybody else could. And so this is just shining a light on the fact that I have to depend on people and I'm incompetent, which makes me a loser. So, it's not so much that the buggy wouldn't start per se, because the truth is, if the buggy didn't start, what I could have said to myself was, that's unfortunate. I'm going to have to walk on the trails. Maybe somebody can fix it later, period. Drop a period at the end of that statement. And it would have been frustrating, but it would have been fine. Where it spiraled out of control was I let my emotions get the best of me. And then I started telling myself a story about what it means. Now, before I even uncovered the fact that I felt incompetent, independent, before I even got to that, what I was thinking was the men in this house are disrespectful. They don't take care of things. Why are things always falling apart? Why do they not value things? Why do they buy the cheapest? So I was telling myself a story about what that meant about them. And then I uncovered the story it meant about me, or what I was telling myself it meant about me. I wish I could tell you that these episodes, like, you figure out how to manage them and they don't happen anymore, but we're human and things are going to come up. Triggers are going to happen. Remember a few weeks ago, we were talking about boundaries over resentment. That was an interesting one. So it's not that this isn't going to happen once you learn the skill set. It's just that you're able to maybe wrangle your emotions in faster. All told, my quote episode was probably an hour or two before I managed to calm down and uncover what the story was and then reframe it. Just because I can't start it doesn't mean I'm incompetent. It doesn't mean I'm a loser. And by the way, being dependent, oh, this is a good one. Being dependent is not necessarily a bad thing. See, I'm labeling that as bad, but it's not. It's because you need help and that's okay. So I had to rewrite the story, reframe my perspective and see it in a healthier way. However, I am trying to practice being mindful and aware that when my emotions are out of control, that I need to stop and drop a period somewhere, like end the statement. The buggy won't start. That's unfortunate. It's frustrating, period. I'll just continue on and we'll fix it later. I hope that you found this useful. I'll see you in the next episode.